What's going on, guys? Brian here, representing the Overlay Network, bringing you guys another discussion video, but this time I want to focus on Speed Duels primarily. But I want to focus on some of the things that they've been reprinting more than anything in some of these sets. And some of the reprints are pretty good in my opinion, because it just means there's more available, I guess, printings and rarities of said cards. Now, we all know that the newest Speed Duel deck that came out was the Yugi, and then Yugi and Pegasus, and then Yami Merrick and Yami Bakura. And each one of those are going around $10. You can probably find them at local targets, but very good solid reprints like Advanced Ritual Art if you aren't aware. So something that you could literally go into your target, buy 3 Advanced Rituals and just have them already, along with 3 DD Crow, which if you guys don't know, Speed Duels can be used for both regular duels and Speed Duels, but you can't use cards for the official TCG and Speed Duels, so that's the only thing. But it's crazy that we can use them nonetheless. And on top of that, you got Thousand Eyes Restrict right here, another printing. I know the Legendary Duelist had it too as a common, so you have another common printing right here for Thousand Eyes Restrict, which is great, a great instant fusion target, and something that was very needed, I think, because there wasn't any common printings, I think, to my knowledge. If this would load up, I'd be glad to show y'all, but it doesn't want to load up. Let me try one more time. There it is. So market price of $2, let's say. And prior to that, yeah, you had no commons up until this point. Yeah, well, you had one Legendary Duelist Ancient Millennium. So prior to that, you had only 2 common printings, or 1 actually common printing. Yeah, so a good reason this card needed reprint, and I'm glad we finally got it in the Legendary Duelist Season 1, which made this card a little bit cheaper. So if every instant fusion does come back, or if Thousand Eyes Restrict just becomes very powerful in that format, then hey, pick it up. And then other than that, we had 2 Mask, which was only had 2 printings, this common in the structure deck, and I think Secret and Legendary Collections Joey World, no, Dragons of Legend. And then it's getting another reprint right here in the Dragons of Legend. Prior to that, you see that this only had 2 printings, so very, very interesting that Speed Duels reprinting certain cards in only Speed Duel sets. Obviously smart marketing, them trying to push the product. And then you got certain staples that could be used, like Senju the Thousand Hands, Polymerization, Universal, and then some more tune support. And then a lot of these skill cards to me are it's going to be very interesting what happens to them, because these are Yu-Gi-Oh! Art cards. So if it does fall out and crap out, then it'd be interesting to see if some of these skill cards do go up in value. Just for the main fact that they have the protagonist and the antagonist, like Yugi, Pegasus, Bandit Keith on some of these. But that's it for that structure deck. I want to get into the other structure that they had. Structure that they came out with, which was the Yami Bakura and Yami Merrick one. You see that Allure of Darkness is a common in here, and we all know that Allure of Darkness is worth money. And then you have other cards that I don't think have many printings to begin with, like the Level Ups, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you didn't have many printings up until this point. You had a bunch of comments from Dark Revelation, Legendary Collection, and Solo Dudes, all very old cards. And then the fact that they're reprinting cards like this is interesting to me, because it shows that Konami is trying to have some diversity in Speed Duels, while at the same time giving people cards that they need, or cards that need a reprint. Like I said, all these cards, skill cards with the protagonist or antagonist, honest to me, maybe are interesting to look at, because they could be worth money in the future, just for the fact that, hey, it's like Speed Duels does crap out, you could use these just as field center or just as tokens, honestly, especially at a local level where it doesn't really matter. And then you have probably the worst decks, I guess, in the whole Speed Duel set, with just the Rex Raptor and Weevil one. I mean, not much value here, not really. I mean, you had Heat Wave, but don't really know what Heat Wave is going to be used in. And then let's go into one of the original starter decks that they put out, which was the one with Kaiba, Joey, and My Valentine. Came with 3 starter decks, and more than anything, it was just basically just another reprint set for a bunch of Go cards, it looked like. Nothing to see here. I mean, Fusion Gate is an ultra rare, is kind of cool. I mean, if you want to play Fusion Gate, if your deck benefits from Fusion Gate, then definitely use it. I mean, you had another printing right here, with this being, I think, now the highest rarity of this. Yeah, so you have a high rarity, the highest rarity coming in a Speed Duel set, which is insane. So if you are somebody who's into high rarity or the highest rarity, definitely be looking at some of these Speed Duel stuff. You'll never know what you're going to find, and who's to say some of this stuff might go up. I mean, you got a Champion's Vigilance, very old card, but has the ultra rare treatment right here. Does it have anything higher? No, this is the higher rarity. Yeah. So things like this, guys, are very interesting to me just because they are the highest rarity. And who knows? Who's to say they don't go up in value? Like, for instance, I personally picked this up because I just saw I had Amazon stuff. And I'm an Amazon fan. Had Amazon's Village. I knew that it was only the highest rarity was rare, but I mean, rare is cool, but it's old. And don't you want an updated text? I mean, I personally want an updated text. So definitely Amazon's Village was something I got because I like this one. I'm a My fan. I mean, what's not to like about My, right? And then yeah, it had some other cards like some very epic anime cards, Kaiba, all that stuff. So I wouldn't say this is a waste, but I wouldn't go out of my way and pay $15 for this. I mean, if it's at your locals for $10, swoop it up, swoop up two, three, whatever it is, and yeah, hold on to them. But to further press the point and kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, let me show you some of the Gravekeepers card. Okay, Gravekeepers are an old archetype, man. I mean, I remember just opening up packs when I was a little Timmy and I was just trying to get what I wanted. I mean, and I saw these cards, I was like, what the hell's a Gravekeeper? But if I had known these cards may have been worth money, I mean, I would have held on to them. Who knows? But right as you see right here, there was only, prior to this printing of Gravekeepers Recruiter, there was only 2 printings. Rare and then ultra rare being the highest in Joey's World. Now you have a common. Very, very, very interesting that they're printing these type of cards in, because as you see right here, this $3-4 commons, so definitely some value in some of these Speed Duels dual decks to begin with. Honestly, I mean, it's insane that some of these cards only have a couple printings. Like, I think Mimicat was one of those too. I think this is the higher rarity, excuse me, pardon my, or the second highest rarity. I believe there is a secret rare in the Legendary Collection Joey World. No, Dragons, it's always Dragons of Legends, seems like. Yeah, so you had this being the second highest rarity, and prior to that, you were going to be paying $5 for a Mimicat, a rare Mimicat. I mean, that's cool, but you had the Ultra Rare here for a while, and then, nice. I mean, just good to have, man. I mean, like I said, value in these things, guys. If you see them there, dude, pick them up, man. You're gonna be able to flip some of these cards for some profit. And I'm pretty sure there are some Speed Duel players out there. But yeah, just showing you some of these interesting reprints that I found or that I didn't know of. And then you have, now that we're done with all the little starter decks or structure decks, whatever you want to call them for Speed Duels, let's get into some of the booster sets. So the first booster set, I think, well, not one of the first booster sets for Speed Duels was Trial of the Kingdoms, and then you had certain cards that transitioned into the meta, like Floodgate Trap Hole being something that, trap chicks can use and abuse, and honestly, it's a very powerful card that some strategies aren't aware of or ready for. And then you had certain reprints like Don's Lug getting a higher rarity ultra reprint, modern reprint too. You had cards like Magician of Black Chaos just hitting some crazy numbers at release. I remember this thing wasn't even, it was just a vanilla ritual. It wasn't even good. It's just the amount of resources you got to put into it is not worth the payoff. So as you see right here, we only had 2 printing. What, seriously, 2 printings of this guy? Crap, that's insane. So with that being Legendary Collections Joey World, and you had the Secret Rare Premium Pack, which I don't think anybody was trying to play, but that's insane. That's under $10 for a premium pack too. That's crazy, bro. And then you have the Ultra Rare here fetching, yeah, around the same price. No, more than the original. Holy shit. So yeah, probably because it's more easily accessible and condition is nicer, whereas this is susceptible to time and wear and tear if they weren't stored properly, which is always something that we all got to be aware of. So it's interesting to see that these cards or these sets have these types of value cards in it, because like I said, Don's Luke, what old card. I mean, old card, man. Shit, dude. Feels like, damn, I feel old looking at some of these cards. Yeah, you had Don's Luke Gold Series right here, but nobody really likes gold. You had him at rare, super rare. So yeah, you have him getting reprinted in his highest rarity once again, and the fact that he has the modern update text, which is nice. But if you are a fan of the whole old rarities, and just like the nostalgia feel of having older cards, then go for it. And then if you are playing goats, I guess that's something you want to look at too. So definitely interesting to see that these cards, certain cards are getting these type of reprints, and more legacy cards, as you see, Jack's Knight, King Knight. So definitely curious to see where these prices will go, if they go down. Now, another interesting card that has the highest rarity in a Speed Duel is Book of Life. So Book of Life is a very powerful zombie card that a lot of zombie players like to use, and up until this point, there was only one higher rarity printing. The highest rarity was in the Legendary Collection for Joey's World, which was insane that it's that old, and that was the highest rarity. So the fact that they updated this right here, Booyah, Book of Life, in a Speed Duel structure shows you that Konami is trying to have certain things reprinted in these sets so people buy them, but at the same time, it's interesting to see what they're doing with these things, because I think they're trying to be Look at this in a long-term sense. You get me? If these things do crap out well, people can just have them on their shelves, buy them out, and then hopefully they can pull some of these high rarity GOAT staples or just staples in general for whatever form, like whatever format, you know, and have those increase in value. So if you are somebody who just is thinking about buying this, dude, go for it, dude. $22, you could possibly make your money back easily. 28, yeah, $30. Yeah, these were going under 20 or for like 25 at some point. So you can definitely pick some of these up and see what you will pull and hopefully flip, because Mask of Darkness, ultra rare, GOAT staple, add one trap from your graveyard to your hand. Insane. This being the highest rarity, like I said, guys, it's always worth picking some of these up just to see what you get, because these cards being the highest rarity, like what, the Koichi getting another reprint, very important GOAT staple. I mean, shit, Mask of Darkness, an important GOAT staple. Vampire Lord, another one of those GOAT staples that people like to play. Some options, I think. I mean, you got Metamorph, another high rarity staple right there. If you want to buy it, it's nice to have. Glad they reprinted. I mean, you see Konami trying to reprint some of the older GOAT staples, which makes me wonder what the value will these things will be in a couple years, 5-6 years from now. I mean, Magician of Faith was a perfect example of a great GOAT reprint that they did, for the simple fact that prior to this, you had a $600 or $700, whatever it is, Champion Pack Super Rare Magician of Faith, that being one of the highest rarities. I mean, you could go for that, or you could have gone for the Duelist Saga, but you were pretty much limited to these two in terms of high rarity. And then until the Speed Duel one came in, you know, you were just pretty much limited to these two if you wanted to play high rarity or the highest rarity. And I don't think anybody was trying to do that unless you're, you know, well off. So these two right here are great things to pick up just to have if you are a GOAT fan or you're an old school Yu-Gi-Oh fan who just fell in love with that type of format. So it's always nice to have, because it's gonna hold value and possibly go up in value. That was one of the cards I really was looking at in that set. And then Blade Knight, another card. I mean, GOAT staple. Dust Tornado, GOAT staple. I mean, Libaya, Dragon, Daedalus, possibly another GOAT staple in there. I mean, just high rarity cards, guys, that are older and honestly are nice to see that they're in here, because I don't think anybody's trying to open up some old LOB or like old booster sets like that unless you're a pack opening channel. Then go for it, dude. But if you're trying to still capture some of that old school essence, then this is something to look at. But on top of that, it's worth picking up, because if you are able to get a really good deal in bulk, you're able, and you pull some of these chase cards, you're able to make some money, no doubt. I mean, the room for profit is a little bit bigger in my opinion, because you're not spending so much when it's like $70 for a booster set. Granted, these don't have as high ratios to pull the ultras and, you know, rares and whatnot. I mean, you're not even guaranteed, I think, a holo in some of these packs, because I've opened, I think, like 3 or 4. You're not guaranteed a holo. But yeah, something you would definitely want to be possibly getting and picking up if you if you catch them at a good price, or you just see them there, because they do have some important staples. Right here, you got Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon right here. I mean, another great reprint, another reprint of a legacy card. I mean, iconic. It's always going to be worth money. Yeah, always going to be worth money. You know, always going to be worth money. I mean, just another ultra rare reprint, nice to have. Insane. Arcana Knight, the Arcana Knight Joker. I mean, a card that Yugi brought out, I'm pretty sure, in the anime. And prior to this, it only had secret rare and then the ultra rare printing. So if you wanted the max rarity, you would have to pay premium dollar for Arcana secret rare. But thanks to Speed Duels, they did reprint a new ultra rare inside Speed Duels to promote the selling of their product, and at the same time giving Yu-Gi-Oh players another iconic anime card, which is awesome in my opinion. I mean, Speed Duels are great. Why not? I mean, you got right here Skull Servants. For any Skull Servant fans out there like I am, I mean, you can pick up the highest rarity and flex having the super rare right here, or you could go for the ultra rare Speed Duel tournament pack. It's really up to you, but I'm a super rare fan. And then obviously, as you see right here, King of Skull Servant's always going to be worth money. So if you do pull one of these, congratulations, you made yourself some quick, easy cash. So yeah, that's what I say, guys. It's not too bad to get these. Like I said, look, Sphere Karibo, ultra rare for Speed Duels, the most the most expensive, I think, Karibo in Speed Duels. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, see, as you see right here, all these are worth money, guys. I mean, all the Speed Duel Karibos are just worth money. And then, who knows? With these being these being the highest rarity, they probably will hold this value, you know, just for it being the ultra. And then super rare, another iconic, old school card called the Haunted as art. And then Senju the Thousand Hand, another great reprint in my opinion. Just amazing reprint, because not an old card and you don't really see a lot of printings for it. And then another interesting card I want to highlight is something that MSK actually put me onto, was a Harpy's Pet Dragon. I actually have one of these. I pulled one of these. And then if you're like me, you never had a pet dragon. So the fact that I pulled one of these, it was nice. I mean, only 3 printings. If you're a Harpies fan, you're either going ultra or you're going common. But if you got big money, then go for the secret, definitely flex. But right here, you're looking at these 2 as your options. So interesting to see that some of these Speed Duel sets, like I said, are printing cards that don't have a lot of printings. So yeah, it's awesome. It's great to see. And then I'm definitely a fan of Speed Duels. I mean, it's easier, man. I mean, instead of playing goats or spending so much money in goats, I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to flex the rarities, flex with some high rarity, you can definitely find a happy medium in Speed Duels. And honestly, it's a nice change of pace. I mean, it's cool. It's different. And then I think the meta was insects and Gravekeeper insects, and then it was Skull Servant at one point, yeah. So yeah, just something I wanted to share with you guys, something I haven't seen. I know I've been rambling on and off about what I think about these products. Obviously, there's some bias in my tone when I talk about this, but I think it's just great that they're doing this. I hope Konami can keep it up, but we will have to wait and see what they do with this. And hopefully they gave it a ban list, because I don't think they have a ban list, so there's that. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Another video. Just wanted to show you guys something new, and let me know what you guys think about Speed Duels. It's interesting. It's different. It's a bootleg goats. It's a knockoff goats, but it does offer some interesting things in terms of value and for the market, and just for the, I guess, amount of cards that are in Yu-Gi-Oh already. It just gives them more printings for certain cards, like I pointed out. The King Skull Servants, the Arcana, the Senju, just gives it nice higher rarities. But yeah, Brian with Neo Overlay Network, guys, signing out.